It's Verity here from Honeypot, and today I'm going to show you how to get your registry set up the way that you want it. So the first thing you're going to need to do is log in. Right now I'm already logged in, but it's pretty simple. You just head to the home screen of Honeypot and come up to this corner here on the right, and then where it says log off for me, it would normally say log in for you. So then it should take you straight to your dashboard. And as you can see on the dashboard, there's a couple of registries here. Now I've got my test one from before. We're going to edit this one that hasn't had anything done to it before. So you should have one automatically there ready to start when you log in. So what you're going to need to do is hit edit registry. Come on in, and as you can see, there's a few things missing from this one. So this is what it'll look like before you add anything. And it's totally up to you how much you add, but just be aware that obviously the more personalized you make it, the easier it is for people to find it, the more likely they are to understand that it's you and understand why you're asking for what you're asking. And they tend to be pretty generous, you'll find, your wedding guests. So you're going to come over to this edit details button here. So we're going to click on that one, and we're going to put in a title. And normally you'd want to do something that included both of your names so that people can find it easily. So we might put in something like Jack and Jill's, oh, not Hills, Jill's Honeymoon Registry. And then you're going to need to put in a description, and that could be a little bit of your story. So we met when walking up the hill to fetch a pail of water, or however you met, tell a little bit of your story, and then you might want to put in why you've decided to go for a honeypot registry instead of a traditional one, especially for your older guests who maybe don't get it and don't understand what the point of it is. It might be a good idea to just say, you know, because we've already lived together, we don't want lots of things, but we would love for you to help us go on our dream honeymoon or something like that. For many years, we would love for you to help us, blah, blah, blah. Cool. And so then the location is usually where you're getting married. So that's just another way to help your guests identify that they're definitely in the right place. So you might do, for example, up the hill, wherever it is that you're going. Then your event date, obviously there you just want to put in your wedding date. You can either change the dates there, or you can flick through to whatever month it's in. So let's say February, for example. So that's going to fill in all those details. And the other thing that you need to do, or that you don't need to do, but that we would recommend you do, is upload a background image. And this could be a photo of the two of you, maybe one of your engagement photos if you've gotten some taken, just a favourite, or perhaps a photo of, that summarizes where you're going on your honeymoon or what you're asking for in your registry. Because, of course, Honeypot doesn't just have to be for honeymoons. You could use it for, a lounge suite or anything else, really. So just whatever you guys feel represents you and your registry. And then we're going to save those changes. And that's going to update with everything there. So obviously your title, a bit of a description, your details, and then that nice photo coming in behind. So normally if you just go for a standard horizontal photo, it should show up pretty well. So then if we come down, you'll see that there's a bit of a checklist for before you're ready to start. So this will just help make sure that you've got everything in that you need. So you need to add in your preferred names below, so that's what people will search for. So it's up to you whether you include last names here, but we would recommend it just in case there's lots of people with the same first name as you. So especially if you've got a common name. So let's say we'll go Jack O'Brien. You can tell I've tried this before, and we're going to add that one, and then we'll add in some Jill. So Jill, let's go that, and we'll add that as well. So now you guys are both searchable, so any part of your name they'll be able to find you. Same thing if they're looking for the title, that'll search as well. So then we come down, and obviously the thing that we need to do is add some gifts. So what you can do is you can either come to add item here, or you can scroll down and you can see the gifts and go add new item there. So either one will work. So you can add that item there. And what you want to do is give it a bit of a name. So for example, we might decide to go, what photos have I prepared earlier? So we've got a bit of a flight photo. So the name might be Flights to wherever you're going, South America, let's say. And then you could put in a little bit of a description. So the biggest expense for our dream honeymoon is the flights. We would be so grateful for your help. Or you could say something like, you know, South America is our dream destination and we're so excited to go. Just something that brings it to life a little bit. And then you can put in your cost. Now, you've got the choice here of what you put in. You don't have to, you know, book flights in advance or know the exact amount, or, you know, have receipts or anything like that. Basically, how Honeypot works is that you put in how much you think something's going to be worth, and then people can give you gifts up to that amount. But you get the money in your bank account to do with what you will. So some of them you might have already booked and it's essentially paying it back, but other things you might not know yet. So it's just about guessing how much you think. So say for 2 of you, flights to South America, so maybe that's 4,000 total if you're going around the place. And then you've got your image, and we're just going to save that. Cool, and as you'll see, that's added. So some things to note, obviously you've got your title up here. This bar is how much has been contributed. So as people start to give something, this will fill up, and that just tells people how much is left for them to give. So for example, if someone comes and gives $200, I'm not going to do the maths, but that bar will just go up a little bit and show you how much is left. So there's the image, the little blurb, and then how much that's going to cost you in total, and how much is being contributed towards it. So obviously right now nothing's going to be contributed because you haven't gone live yet, so no one can give items. So we want to add another item. So similar thing. In this case, it might be that we want to pay for accommodation. So we'll go luxury accommodation in Rio. And you might go, we'd love to stay at the famous Copacabana. We'll see whether this is spelled right. No, I don't think so. Copacabana Hotel. Whatever you like, really. Obviously, these are very basic descriptions, but it's up to you how long you want to take. And cost, I'm going to admit that I have absolutely no idea how much that costs, but you might put in, say, $500 and save that. And there you go. Okay, and so this is one thing just to note, is that you want to make sure that all of your photos are horizontal before uploading them, unless you mind them coming up like this. We are working on that, on being able to edit them, but for now, just need to make sure that they're horizontal, but I'll leave that for now. So then as another item, say you want something that's not part of your honeymoon, and that's totally fine. There's lots of people who have honeypot registries for things that have nothing to do with your honeymoon. So a popular one might be, say you're wanting to get a new lounge suite. Maybe you've lived together and you've got lots of stuff, but you've got a lot of hand-me-downs as well, so you wouldn't mind a new lounge suite. So maybe that becomes one of your items, and your description is, we'd love to replace our old hand-me-down couch with a new suite. Whoops. That will remind us of our wedding. And let's go, say, whatever that is, and you can save that in there as well. So there you go. So we've got a few things. They do just go in alphabetical order, based on the title, just as a way of organising them. But yeah, what we'd recommend is that you put in at least 10 items. So obviously I'm not going to do that right now, because who wants to watch that in a video? But we'd recommend that you try and add at least 10 items. And we'd recommend a mix of bigger items and some smaller ones. So for example, you might have your flights, but then you might do something like cocktails on the beach or visiting Disneyland or whatever it is, just to give people options, because a lot of people quite like to give the things where they give most of one gift, whereas other people are perfectly happy to pitch into what they know is going to be the biggest expense. So yeah, that's just the way that we'd recommend it. And then essentially you just want to check everything, and as you can see, now that we've done all the things in the start checklist, it's letting you go live. So you probably just want to check that with each other that you're happy, and then you click go live now. And so what you want to make sure is that you're putting in all of the important information here. This is where the money is going to go to that your guests are contributing. So you really have to make sure that you give us the right bank account details. You can't change this information once the registry is live. Obviously, if it's a big problem, then you can get in touch with us, but it's certainly a lot easier to just get it right the first time. So I'm not going to put in my bank account number there, but if you put it in there, and then the choose your bank and the account holder name, and you just have to confirm that you're authorized to transact. Now you need to put in a registry closing date. So we would normally recommend about a month after your wedding, because you'll find that there's quite a lot of people who might come and they've forgotten to do it, so they do it afterwards or something like that. But normally by the time a month's been, they would all finish, so we'd put that in. And then number of guests. The reason that we ask this is because in New Zealand there's some really strict anti-money laundering laws, and we need to make sure that your money is going to be as safe as possible. So we need to make sure that nothing untoward is going through the bank accounts. So by giving us the number of guests, it means that we can track essentially what should be a normal amount of money to come through your registry, and that's more of a range than anything else. But that way, if it goes way higher than that, we'll know to notify the authorities. So you're just going to put that in. I'm not going to take you through to the next part, but it's pretty straightforward. Once you hit continue, then you'll just get some payment details pop up, and you'll be asked to verify your identity. So we might go through that in another video, but hopefully this has helped you set up your registry well. We're going to go back to it now, and as you can see, that's looking pretty good, and you can preview it. So this is what it'll look like to your guests essentially, and obviously the more items you add, the more it'll go down. But that's how you create a registry. If you have any questions at all, feel free to contact us on support@honeypotregistry.co.nz. Otherwise, we've got some pretty good FAQs on the website that you can have a look at. And if you think of any other videos that you'd really like to see for how to do something or suggestions, do just let us know, again, via the same email or at our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/honeypotregistry. And we'd love you to like us and see what's happening all the time anyway. Thanks for watching, and thanks for using Honeypot.